Hello and welcome to Simon's Discoveries. So first of all, I'd like to apologize that I'm flooding you with reviews, but it's actually quite important, and there is an important reason for that. Let me explain. The main reason for that is I'm going on a long trail soon. So right now I'm actually preparing, choosing and testing my gear, because this is something I have never done before. I'm talking about the Pacific Crest Trail, which is, I can't remember exactly how long it is, but it's thousands of miles long virtually. In addition to that, one of my viewers challenged me, or actually brought to my attention a challenge that is circling on YouTube, and it's to do with my go-to knife and bushcraft survival equipment. I believe it's more than just a knife, but in this review I'm going to focus on just a knife, or the knife for the trip. So for something like this, I obviously haven't done anything like this before, and I anticipate this to take, I may not complete this because it's just too long, I may not have enough time and all that. It takes months to walk across from the Mexican border all the way up to the Canadian border, so it's like really far. And the trail runs through deserts, it runs through mountains and stuff like this, so a completely unknown area for me. I don't know what to expect. I can't tell. I'm gonna use my experience with that particular environment. So I'm gonna have to come up with something that is gonna do it all. At the same time, I can't take too much. I can't take a machete that is really long, cumbersome, it's heavy, and it looks funny, you know. Believe it or not, but I'm probably gonna meet some people on the way on this trail, and I don't want to look like a freaking murderer or someone. And plus, a machete is just too long. It's gonna stick out every time I bend, I duck or something. It's just gonna get in the way, get stuck in the mud or something. It's too heavy, too clunky, and it's not going to do it. So I'm not planning on actually doing bushcraft, but you never know. I mean, as I say, this is a really long trail with possibly plenty of surprises, and I'm going to have to cope with all that. So who knows what's going to happen. The knife I'm going to take is going to have to do it all, and at the same time not to be too heavy, too big and unwieldy. So let's take a look at one of the potential contestants. So this is one of them, the SCHRADE SCHF51M. First things first, it's made out of 1095 high carbon steel, and despite what the SCHRADE has in their catalog, this is not some kind of 1095 high carbon stainless steel. It does not exist. I actually asked them about this on Twitter, and they responded to me that this is a typo. It's a big typo, but it's kind of strange one. But either way, I tested this and I was able to create a spark with a piece of flint off of it. So it's definitely a carbon steel. So the blade length, well, actually the cutting edge length is about 4 inches. With the choil, it's going to be around 5 inches long. We have very grippy Micarta handle. I think it's Micarta. The coating, we've mentioned the coating before, and it's the same really good type of coating. And some people have had doubts about the grind on this knife. I have no doubts that this is not the saber grind. This is simply a hollow grind with the secondary bevel. It comes with an unusable edge, as usually, and I had to slightly regrind it. The thickness of the blade, it's nearly 6 millimeters, creates some problems because this is such a thick blade. It takes a lot of time to actually regrind it to the proper angle. And because this knife is so thick and it's hollow ground, I try to sharpen it, try to make it easy for myself and use the work sharp. The problem with that is that the angle here is so great that I was trying to catch this 20-degree angle, but it turns out the belt on work sharp, it bends, basically it bends inwards. So you're going to be catching this edge here with the belt if you want to catch this, if you want to grind it to the 20 degrees. So I actually had to go old school and do it by hand. Okay, so the knife is not light. You're gonna have to bear this in mind with the sheath, which is it's a basic sheath. It's ugly, but again, surprisingly usable. It even has an extra diamond sharpener in it, and a small but really good ferro rod. The ferro rod has its own striker here, but I don't think I would use it. It's a little too short, and you know, I was burning my fingers striking it. So the knife itself already has pretty sharp edges. If it doesn't try and strike something with it, the edge will automatically pop up there, just like that. So you can strike it like this, directing the sparks on your tinder, or you can just use it like that. It's gonna do the job with no problems. People who know me at least a little bit and have seen my previous videos will know that I really don't like big and heavy knives. So why the hell would I choose something like this and on a trail when, you know, every gram counts? Well, there are a few reasons. First of all, I am a big fan of smaller knives when it comes to bushcraft. But you know, sometimes when you, let's say you want to cut a piece of branch, for example, to make yourself a walking stick, which is quite important for me, you know. For example, here where I am now, we have a lot of very, very steep hills, and it's actually quite difficult to freaking walk up the hill without slipping down or, you know, losing your balance. So a walking stick is quite useful, and there's plenty of trees around. You can just cut a branch and stuff. But sometimes those branches, the perfect pieces, are quite inaccessible, and you know, some of them will be dead. And it's really not that easy to try and cut an inaccessible or dead branch with a small knife by just pushing the blade through. Even if you bend it, even if you use the proper technique, it's still not going to be as efficient and just simply chopping the freaking thing off. And I realize it's quite difficult to make a short, manageable and well-balanced knife which is not too heavy but still able to chop. And I'll tell you something, I think this is actually one of those rare occasions where they were actually able to make a knife relatively small. Well, it is heavy, but it's not, you know, crazy heavy. It weighs about a pound. With the whole rig weighs about 600 something grams, 650, something like this. And with the choil, I can do pretty much any task that I would do with small knives. It's not going to be that comfortable. There is obviously, it's a big knife. There is always a little trade-off. There's always going to be something wrong with a big knife when it comes to small tasks. But I can pretty much do the smallest task without feeling any pain, any discomfort, or without any major issues. This is also one of those very rare occasions or knives where you have a relatively pronounced guard. I believe it would actually stop my hand from sliding if I ever had to stab something, but at the same time it doesn't really get in the way, and it doesn't hurt to use the choil, even though this is sticking out a little. There is some hidden jimping here. I don't know why. You're gonna have all sorts of crap collecting here, and it's gonna be difficult to get rid of. So I could do without that, but it doesn't bother me because it's not, I can feel it. I cannot feel it, so it's pretty damn good. And holding your knife like this greatly improves the balance and maneuverability of the knife. And it really is a big, small knife. So I've been testing this knife for quite some time now, because as I said before, you can't just come up with a new knife and say that, oh, I'm gonna go with this on the trail. The trail is like, by the way, 2,000 miles long and I don't even know what to expect there. That'd be stupid. So after testing this knife for a significant period of time now, I have to say it is a pretty strong competitor in this contest. First of all, because it provides you with multiple ways of making fire. It will strike a ferrocerium rod. It has its own ferrocerium rod in the sheath. You will be able to produce sparks with a piece of flint, and like the previous knife I reviewed, you can use this as a handhold for bow drill. And this time I was a little ashamed, because I wasn't able to create an ember last time. And the moment I got back home, I thought, I got it. I know what I was doing wrong. I need a harder spindle. So I came out here today and tried and find myself a harder piece of spindle. Wasn't able to find it. I mean, I found a perfect half-board and a little bit damp spindle. I just couldn't find anything else. It's hard, it's perfect, but I can feel it's damp under the bark. But anyway, I thought I was gonna give it a go. If I wasn't gonna get an ember, at least I would demonstrate how to use this thing as a handhold. And surprise, surprise, as usually happens when you don't expect yourself to succeed, you succeed. So damp spindle does not really matter as long as it's hard. I'm getting to know this area more and more every day. So is this the winner of this competition? I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking. I'm gonna keep testing things because I still have quite a lot of time. I'm going camping soon just to prepare myself. I'm gonna take it one step at a time. We'll see how it goes. But I am actually really impressed with this knife. I didn't expect this to be this good because it's, as I say, it's thick, it's heavy, it's not something I would normally buy or even look at in a knife store, It just doesn't strike me as a good bushcraft knife. It may be a good survival knife because that's what everybody says, a survival knife has to be thick and big and heavy. Well, I don't know about that, but this one actually combines the features that a small bushcraft knife should have with something of a survival knife which you might need in an area which you don't know. Now, like I said, it's not too heavy, it's not going to look strange on the trail, it only protrudes a little and you can't really say what it is. There is this funny string attached to the bottom of the sheath. I don't really know what it's supposed to be because if it's supposed to go around my thigh, well, I suspect that I had thicker thighs when I was 12, so that's not going to happen. I took it off because it's just it's not doing anything, it's just dangling around and pisses me off. Okay guys, thanks a lot for watching. This has been Simon of Simon's Discoveries. Please click like, share and subscribe. Visit my website simonsdiscoveries.com. Please follow me on Twitter, that's Simon's Discoveries as well. Have fun and see you next time.